These are the sneaker releases that you need to know about in October 2025. This is Sit or Sell. Starting things off on October 1st with a brand new silhouette, we've got the Air Jordan 1 Low Element. This new version of the Jordan 1 is dropping in 3 different colorways: glacier blue, olive, and black, and they're all retailing for $200. As you can probably tell from just the look of this shoe, this is definitely a more ruggedized, more hiking-focused version of the Air Jordan 1, and it is an all-new silhouette. Sure, it's based on the Air Jordan 1 Low, but I mean, it really feels like a whole new sneaker. You've got to give Jordan Brand props. They really try new things all the time, and while not everything hits, they at least try it. I actually don't mind the way that this sneaker looks. You've got this very exaggerated sort of traction pattern with these large lugs, obviously specifically made for hiking. You've got that Air Jordan 1 upper, but it seems like some of the materials have been switched out for Gore-Tex and more durable materials. And of course, you've got these large pull tabs on the heel and on the tongue of the shoe. And while I don't like it as an Air Jordan 1, I do kind of like it in its own right as a Jordan trail shoe. For years, I hiked in the Nike ACG Dog Mountains, a shoe that actually looked kind of similar to this, and I really like that sneaker a lot. And this shoe, I feel like, has that same sort of ACG vibe to it, except it's truly from Jordan Brand. If I were to pick one of these colorways to rock, it would probably be the olive colorway, although the glacier blue isn't bad and the black really isn't bad. But realistically, I'd only wear them in outdoor hiking sort of situations. I wouldn't really ever wear these casually, and I feel like that's gonna be the case for most people, especially at the $200 price point. Now, because it's a new silhouette, I do think there is a potential that there could be some hype behind them. I mean, I've seen a weird amount of news on these, even though it's a shoe that I thought people wouldn't care about. So there is a potential that they could move relatively quickly, but I think overall, this shoe's probably gonna end up sitting. It's just not something that Jordan fans generally would go to, in my opinion. I mean, it's kind of like the Jordan 1 Comfort's a shoe that got a lot of hype, but then never really moved because it didn't come in any of the OG colorways and it didn't have that same sort of authentic retro vibe to it. I'm giving all 3 of these colorways, although they're all clean, giving them all a sit. Also dropping on the 1st is the Adidas Fear of God Athletic to Basketball D-Rose. Ever since Jerry Lorenzo switched from Nike over to Adidas, his new stuff hasn't really hit the way that it used to, and I'm not totally sure why. I think the shoes are actually really clean. The shoes have a very similar vibe to what he was dropping at Nike. I actually think I like the design of these shoes better than the shoes that he dropped at Nike. The materials are solid, the price points are good, the hype just isn't there. But it seems like Adidas is trying to create a 3-way collaboration between Adidas, Fear of God, and D-Rose, even though it's not really a collab because they're all sort of Adidas brands or athletes, so I guess it's not really a collab, but it's like a 3-name sneaker. This collaboration is essentially a new colorway of the Athletic to Basketball, a shoe which is honestly very clean. It comes with a dark gray upper accented by these sort of light tan Adidas 3 stripes on the side. You've got this creamy or sail colored midsole, and then the, I guess, D-Rose touch, other than some branding details, are the fact that you can switch out these cream laces for red laces, which I do think looks very clean. There is also an orange hit on the heel of the shoe, which does add a nice pop of color, but overall it's still an Athletic to Basketball, but I do have to say it's probably one of the best. Now, it's retailing for $180. Will it sell out? I don't know. I do think this has the best potential to sell out of any of the Athletic to Basketballs, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm gonna be hopeful though. I'm gonna give this shoe a sell and hope that Adidas keeps working with Jerry Lorenzo on some more Fear of God shoes, and maybe some of them will hit so that the collaboration continues, because I really like what Jerry Lorenzo does, and I really don't mind what he's doing with Adidas. By the way, this month I teamed up with Core to give away a StockX gift card. If you want a chance to win this gift card in order to buy some of the sneakers on this list, make sure to grab the second Core badge linked in the description below. You need the 3 Core badges and of course the redemption badge that you get when you get all 3 Core badges. All you have to do to get these badges is to find them through the links in different videos that I posted throughout the month. The first badge dropped a couple videos ago, so just check the descriptions of those videos and you'll find it. This is the second badge, and then the third one is dropping before the end of the month, so stay tuned. Moving on to October 2nd, we've got 3 new colorways of the Shai 001s. The first colorway that dropped a couple months ago, the Butter colorway, sold out immediately. It's one of the most anticipated new signature sneakers, I think, of the last year or two. It's up there with like how popular the AE1 was. Plus, Shai is a finals MVP and an MVP, and he's just an incredible basketball player, and his shoe is dope, so the hype is there. Now, the Butter colorway of this shoe was relatively limited, so it wasn't very easy to get, and that's probably one of the reasons why the resale price is so crazy high, which, by the way, if you want to check the resale price of that shoe or maybe grab any of the shoes in today's video, make sure to check them out through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Now, the good news is if you missed out on the original colorway, there's a new colorway called Hail Clay, which is part of the 3 that are dropping the same day: the black, the mossy blue, and Hail Clay, and it looks really, really similar. Not exactly the same, it's a different shade of tan, but it is still kind of a tan shoe. Like the original, these Shai 001s are retailing for $130, and I'm so excited to try and, well, hopefully get a pair for myself, because it's a shoe shoe that I'd love to rock. It's minimal and simple, but it's got this really interesting detailing in the upper. I love the material choices. I love how it looks futuristic, but also retro at the same time. It's cool. It's really cool. I just want to try a pair on. I just want to see how it looks on my feet. Hopefully I'm able to grab a pair of these. Also, I hope that these pairs are not as limited as the first pair. I'm assuming they're not. I'm assuming they're much more widely available, but we'll have to wait and see. One kind of cool tidbit of information that I learned when I was doing research on this shoe is that the mossy blue colorway, or that sort of light eggshell blue colorway, is actually inspired by a fake pair of Jordans that Shai's brother used to wear all the time. It was like his favorite shade of blue, and that's why he released a pair in his own shoe. It was really cool to learn that about this colorway, and it made me like this colorway a lot more than I already did. Just knowing the story behind it is really rad, and I think storytelling is such an important part of product releases, specifically sneakers. I think that even though these newer colorways will probably be more widely available than the first colorway, they're still gonna be very hyped up and will most likely end up selling out very quickly. Then rounding off October 2nd, we've got the Nike Vomero Premium. This shoe is truly the softest pair of shoes that I've ever put on my feet. I did a full review on these shoes. I was blown away by the underfoot cushion. You've got this full length ZoomX foam that's like 55.5 millimeters high. You've got these two giant air units in the forefoot and the heel, and those two different kinds of cushioning together create an unbelievably soft and very bouncy ride, one that in some cases can feel unstable, but if you like max cushioning, then this is a great way to go. Now, unfortunately, this pair is not gonna be cheap. It's coming in at $230, which is a lot of money for a pair of running sneakers, but like we saw with the Pegasus Premiums that dropped a couple months ago, that pair was similarly priced and it completely sold out and you actually had to buy it for resale. I think that will also be the case with this pair. The more that I wear this pair, the more that I like it. I've gone running in it, I've worn it casually, and it's a really wild new experience underfoot. It also looks crazy too, and you gain like 2 inches of height, so if you're into that, you kind of gotta grab this pair because it's gonna give you a lot of height. Aesthetically too, I don't mind the way that the sneaker looks. The midsole is wild, but the upper of the shoe comes with this really interesting stitched in detail that's inspired by the Air More Uptempo. It's like air text running down the side of the shoe. It's subtle, but it's so clean and I love the callback. If you're looking for a max cushion recovery shoe, or just a shoe that feels insane underfoot, or maybe you want a pair of sneakers that looks like nothing else, grab the Vomero Premium. I definitely recommend it. It's expensive, but realistically, it's probably gonna sell out and it's probably gonna have some resale value, at least for the first colorway. So try it out if you want to. I think it's gonna be relatively difficult to get though, like the Pegasus Premium, so we'll just have to wait and see. But again, giving this shoe a sell. Dropping on October 23rd is the first Nike LeBron 23 in the Uncharted colorway. Yo, the LeBron 23 actually kind of hits. It's one of the best looking LeBron sneakers that's dropped in a long time. I love all the little details on this shoe, especially the fact that if you look at that sort of side panel on the shoe, it creates a LeBron crown. It's sick. Now, the inspiration behind this colorway in particular, the Uncharted colorway, is his 40,000 point scoring title. The fact that no one's ever gotten there before, it's uncharted waters that we're in. He's also one of the incredibly few players to ever play 23 seasons. At least this next season will be his 23rd season. From what I've heard, there will also be 23 colorways, I believe, releasing of this shoe throughout this year and next year, which is pretty cool. It's another tie into the 23. It's his number. It's the number of seasons he's played. It's the shoe. It's the number of colorways. There's a lot of 23s going on. And I mean, LeBron's killing it. He's one of the GOATs. He is one of the GOATs. Not the GOAT, but he's one of them. The LeBron 23 Uncharted comes in at a retail price of $230, so it is one of the more expensive performance basketball sneakers on the market, but honestly, for what could be LeBron's last season, it might have to be a pair that I pick up, especially in this Uncharted colorway. This colorway is crazy. It's something that I'd probably wear more casually than anything else. I don't play basketball that much. Maybe I would lace it up for a game of basketball. I don't know. But it's a cool look. It's probably gonna be limited, and in my opinion, as with most of the other first colorways of new silhouettes, I do think that this colorway will end up selling out. Then dropping on October 3rd, we've got the Amine New Balance Absorb 2000 Biblioteca. This all-green Amine collaboration is inspired by the library and is also sort of playing on the word that a lot of people learn when they first learn Spanish, biblioteca. The pair itself is fire and comes in tonal greens with patent leathers. It also glows in the dark, which is crazy. But one of my favorite details about the shoe is actually not the shoe itself, it's the packaging. The box that this shoe comes in looks like a book drop at a library. It's really rad. The all-green look is wild. It's got laces with what seem to be a drawstring or a pull string on them to tighten them rather than regular laces. And there's of course little Amine details throughout the shoe, making it unique and special. That glow in the dark though is really nuts. It glows on, I believe, the gel pods and also on some of the linear details on the side of the shoe, making it one of the most interesting pairs of New Balance to drop all year. Now, the retail price of this pair, unfortunately, at the moment, I don't know. I'm assuming it's the same as a standard pair of New Balance 2000s, but it could be more. Now, unfortunately, grabbing this pair is going to be very difficult because not only is it a limited collaboration, but it's only available through the CLBN website, so you have to sign up for notifications there and then hope that you either get an email or check the notifications in time to see when they drop. But guys, it's not going to be an easy release, and I do think it's one of the best New Balance collabs of the year. So in my opinion, it will definitely sell out. Then dropping on October 4th, we've got the Adidas AE2 with Love. This is another pair that I've done a full review of. If you guys want to check it out, there will be a link to that review at the top of the screen. It's the first colorway of the brand new AE2 silhouette, the second iteration of Anthony Edwards' collaboration, or I guess signature line with Adidas. The shoe comes in seemingly a Georgia peach inspired inspired colorway. You've got pinks, you've got oranges, you've got black. It's an all around really interesting colorway, but the paneling on the upper of the shoe does make it all work together really well. Besides the visual differences, there are also some functional differences, like the fact that you no longer have a booty construction that's honestly kind of difficult to get into, but instead you've got a standard gusseted tongue, which is really easy to get your foot into. I love it for both casual wear and for basketball. It makes getting the shoe on significantly easier, and at a retail price of 130 bucks, it won't break the bank. It's still in the same range as the AE1s. I think the AE1 standard pairs came in at 120, the low tops came in at 110, so it's more expensive, but it's not like that much more expensive. Now, I don't know if the hype for the AE2s will be as crazy as the hype for the AE1s, but I do think it's a shoe that a lot of people are excited about, so because of that, I'm gonna give this first colorway of the shoe a sell. Moving on to October 6th, we've got the Nike Moon Shoe Jack Moose collaboration. This is the 4th Jack Moose collaboration with Nike, and it pulls one of the OG sneakers out of the archive, the Nike Moon Shoe. A sneaker silhouette that was originally put together by Bill Bowerman, and now is coming back as a high-end collaboration with Jack Moose. The shoe comes with a gum waffle sole accented by nylon that seems to be pretty well padded, and full grain leather specifically. They actually call that out in the sneakers listing, and it looks nice. I mean, it looks like the Nike Moon Shoe. Now, like I mentioned, the shoe comes in 2 different colorways, University Red Bicycle Yellow and Off Noir Gum Light Brown, I think is the name of it. Essentially a red and white one with, I guess, some yellow accents, and then a black and off-white one with some gum hits, which is the outsole, I guess. Really not a bad looking collaboration, and it's interesting because you probably wouldn't know this was a collaboration if you just looked at it. You'd think, oh, that's like a retro running sneaker of some kind. But you do know it's a collaboration because of the price point. It comes in at $180, which is way more than I think a regular Nike Moon shoe would cost. But what do I know? I haven't seen this shoe released before. This is the first time I'm seeing it. So I think because this shoe is a collaboration, there is a chance that it could sell out, but I also think because it's a somewhat obscure collaboration and a shoe that maybe not everyone is super into, it might sit. I'm really on the fence with this one. As much as I wouldn't be surprised to see this shoe at outlets, I do think based on resale prices that this shoe probably will end up selling out. Dropping on October 7th, we've got the Nike SB Dunk Low Pro Persian Violet. Coming in at a retail price of 120 bucks, this ACG inspired colorway features black hits, orangey maroony hits, Persian violet hits, a black midsole and a gum outsole, and it's very, very clean. It's nothing too crazy, it's nothing too out there. It definitely fits the sort of October spooky season vibes, like the purples and the oranges. Yeah, that makes sense with this season, but it's not something that I think is gonna be incredibly hyped up. I love Nike SB Dunk Lows. The Pro variant is dope. The suede on the upper of the shoe seems nice. It's a good colorway, but will it fly off shelves? Probably not. And for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sit. Then, rumored to drop on October 8th, we've got the OG Chase B Jumpman Jack collaboration. It's not been officially confirmed that this shoe is dropping on October 8th. That just seems to be the date that's going around. And with the pushback of the Fragment Travis Scott's that just happened till November, I think that there is a potential that this shoe could also get pushed. We'll have to wait and see. But for right now, because it seems more likely than not that it'll drop on the 8th. Now, no matter when this shoe drops, what's interesting about this shoe is that it is the first collaboration taking place on the Jordan Jumpman Jack, Travis Scott's signature shoe. So in kind of a similar triple collaboration way that you've got the Fragment Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s, this is sort of a triple collaboration between OG Chase B, Travis Scott, and Jordan, even though this is, I guess, really just a double collab because it's the Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack. Like, it wouldn't release without Travis Scott. I don't know, it's getting complicated. There's a lot going on. This is the first Jumpman Jack collaboration. I should just say that. This shoe definitely channels its Nike Air Yeezy vibes. You've got what seems to be a glow-in-the-dark outsole, or maybe just a bright Volt green outsole. You've got black leather hits on the upper with some sort of platinum feeling vibes. You've also got pink hits on the Jumpman on the tongue and pink laces, and all around, it's a very clean looking pair of sneakers. I think it's one of the best Jumpman Jack colorways to release so far. Maybe not as good as the Mochas, but I do think it's a close second. And again, the fact that it reminds me so much of Nike Air Yeezys really makes me like the shoe even more than I probably should. It's got the strap, it's got the colors, it's got that weird sort of mid-cut look. It's a shoe that definitely seems inspired by one of the most popular Nike sneakers of all time. When it comes to materials, the shoe comes with that black mesh as sort of the base of the upper. You've got light gray suede overlays, especially on the Nike swoosh, and of course you've got this sort of like crumpled black leather towards the mudguard of the shoe. It's interesting, it's unique, it's different, and I'm here for it. Of course, because it's a more premium Jordan brand release, it's gonna come with a more premium price point, in this case $200, which I guess compared to most Jordans doesn't seem that premium, but when you compare it to like any other sneaker brand, that's a good amount of money. Again, we don't know for sure if this shoe is dropping on October 8th. I think it could go either way. It could drop on the 8th or the 2nd or the 9th or in 3 months. I have no idea. But I do think when it drops, it will be a very difficult shoe to get, and in my opinion, I think the OG Chase B Jumpman Jack will absolutely sell out. Next up on October 9th, we've got the Nike Ja 3 Coconut Milk. The Nike Ja 3 is a really interesting and unique new signature sneaker from Nike and of course Ja Morant. It comes with these really interesting TPU accents on the upper of the shoe that are in the shape of Ja's logo that make up like this really interesting sort of scratch texture. It's a very unique and interesting looking pair of Nike basketball sneakers. The only thing that I can compare it to in my mind is like the Nike Kobe 6 with like those 3D snakeskin details. But I like it. It's different. It's cool. It fits me really tight, but it's a good looking shoe. And I think this colorway, if I was looking for like an everyday wear or an everyday ball shoe, this would be the colorway that I would get. Now, when it comes to price point, it retails for the same price as all of the other Nike Ja 3s. It comes in at $125, which is in the budget range. So if you're looking for a good everyday pair of budget basketball sneakers, you're a fan of Ja Morant or Nike basketball, this is not a bad way to go. Will this shoe sell out? Probably not. I think that this shoe is the first GR colorway of the Ja 3s to drop. So because of that, I do think that this shoe is going to be very widely available and very easy to grab. So I'm giving this shoe a sit. Also dropping on the 9th is two different colorways of a very unique collaboration, the Nike Air Max RK61 Air Afrique. According to Nike, Air Afrique came about in 2021 when a group of young Parisians from African diasporas, inspired by the historic airline, created a cultural platform dedicated to Afro-diasporic art, conversations, knowledge, and aesthetics. In Paris and beyond, the collective's goal is to create new archives of African descent through arts and culture. Apparently, the RK61 in the name, Air Max RK61, is inspired by the actual airline code from the original Air Afrique. And the design of this loafer or dress shoe or whatever it is also inspired by traveling and luxury on airlines. The inspiration of the shoe is very cool, and I actually think that the way it came together is nice. It is an Air Max dress shoe, so it's not going to be for everybody. I personally really like those Cole Haans with Lunarlon from back in the day. I think a Salehi Bembry was actually involved in designing those in some way, but those were crazy. I was so into those. These ones, I do think I have to warm up to a bit. They come in black and they come in tan. It's a really interesting looking pair of sneakers, and it retails for $210, which is not cheap, but at the end of the day, it is a dress shoe, and dress shoes tend to be a bit more expensive. Will it sell out though? I'm not totally sure. I think it depends on how limited the shoe is. My guess is it's probably gonna be pretty limited because it's such a new thing, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm gonna give this shoe a sell, just in case you really want a pair of these. Do not sleep. Try and grab them as quickly as possible. If they happen to sit around, then yeah, maybe return it and get it on sale. I don't know, but go for it. I do think it's gonna sell out because I do think it's gonna be limited. Then rounding off October 9th, we've got the Jordan Trunner OS in light Orwood brown. I have never been a fan of Jordan Trunners. They were just never a shoe that I wanted to put on my feet. And I'll be honest with you, for the last couple months that I've been seeing images of this Jordan Trunner OS, not really been a fan, but I'm starting to like this shoe because I'm looking at it more as like a Vomero than as a Jordan, if that makes sense to you. Like, I'm changing my mindset about it, and that makes me view it as just a sneaker rather than a Jordan. I'm definitely a hype beast. This Jordan Trunner OS, the first colorway that's dropping at least, comes in this light Orwood brown, which means it's essentially like a cream and sail looking shoe. Pretty clean, honestly. It's simple, it's subtle. It's got this like TPU panel that wraps up along the side of the shoe that probably acts as some sort of like midfoot cage. I don't mind it. It's definitely got that sort of like 2000s runner inspiration, but it also has some sort of modern aesthetics to it. It's different, it's interesting. Scratch that, could be wrong on that. I think there is actually a brown and purple colorway that's already dropped, so this isn't the first colorway of the shoe to drop, but I do think it's cleaner than the original colorway. Who knows? It's releasing for $115. I think this shoe is probably also gonna be available in stock for a while too, so for that reason, giving this shoe a sit. Continuing on to October 11th, we've got the Air Jordan 5 35th anniversary. This Air Jordan 5 comes in a primarily white upper accented by a black midsole and an icy blue outsole, but where this shoe differs from most other pairs of Air Jordan 5s is that the accent color is a light pink. Now apparently the reason for that is because coral is the gift for the 35th anniversary of something. I didn't realize that was a thing, but apparently that's the inspiration behind the shoe. So there you go. You get a coral pink accent color on the shoe, which to be honest does look fire. At first I thought this shoe was just a new colorway of the Air Jordan 5, and yes, that is the case, but turns out it's coral because of the 35th anniversary. Like the recently released Air Jordan 5 Fire Red Black Tongues, this shoe does feature that PE23 detail on the side of the sneaker, which I really like, and of course that detail comes in the same sort of soft pink or coral pink and black that you get throughout the rest of the sneaker. Honestly, it's a very clean shoe. I really dig it. Now when it comes to price, this shoe comes in at $200, and based on the current resale prices, like 2 or 3 weeks before it releases, yeah, I think the shoe is probably gonna end up sitting because it's reselling right now for like $230. And usually when a shoe is reselling for right around retail before it even drops, it generally means that the shoe is not gonna fly off shelves. So because of that, even though this shoe is absolutely clean, it's a shoe that if I can find it at the outlets for cheap, I will definitely grab it. I think the shoe is probably gonna end up sitting. Then dropping on October 15th, we've got the Bad Bunny Adidas Adiracer GT in the branch colorway. This shoe is dropping right before the Grand Prix in Austin and is obviously a racing inspired silhouette. It comes in tonal browns, I guess like a branch. That's maybe why the name of the shoe is branch, because it looks kind of like a branch, I don't know. It's got pink laces, it's got maroon hits, it's a very clean look, and it's a Bad Bunny collaboration on a silhouette that we just haven't seen a lot of before. In fact, I've never owned a GT racer or a racer Adiracer GT or whatever it's called. That's how little I know about the shoe. I don't even know what the name of it is. That's one thing I really like about Bad Bunny. He's willing to experiment with different silhouettes in these collaborations and try things that are seemingly off the wall like those ballet shoes that he released a while ago. It's a style, people are into it, it's not for me, but I love that there is this shoe coming out. Now, when I said that, I meant specifically for the ballet shoe. For this shoe, it's clean, it's simple, it gets the job done, I like the colorway, and I think this shoe is hot, especially when you consider some of the other shoes that are flying off shelves right now are like the Puma OG Speed Cats, the New Balance 204Ls, another racing-inspired shoe. Racing shoes, these sort of low-riding, very streamlined sneakers are really in right now, so it's not totally surprising that this collaboration is dropping. The Bad Bunny Adidas GT is dropping for $160, and because it's a collaboration on a silhouette that should end up being pretty hot, I think this shoe probably will end up selling out. Moving on to October 18th, we've got the women's Air Jordan 1 High Pro Green. This shoe is kind of hot. It comes in this pale ivory upper or pale sail upper that kind of looks like a nubuck or maybe some sort of like very matte looking leather. And then the overlays on the shoe come in this really nice sort of forest green tumbled leather. You've got a hang tag that comes in green leather with Air Jordan 1985 pressed into it in gold. The Wings logo is gold. It feels very, very premium. Until I have the shoe in hand though, I won't know how nice the materials actually feel in hand, but I will say that based on these images, it's really clean, and I kind of wish it was releasing in men's sizing as well. Actually, this would be a great colorway to have on like the next Dior Air Jordan 1s. Like when you look at this colorway, it looks premium. It looks like a shoe that could cost, you know, how much would the Dior's? Like $2,000 retail? That wouldn't surprise me on this shoe if it came in nicer leathers. It's a dope colorway. I don't know what the inspiration behind it is. I don't know what the reason for this release is, but I think they did a great job on the shoe. I know it's probably not gonna sell out or anything like that, but I do think that it's one of those colorways that just works so well. But I do have to say that I think they nailed this colorway. The one thing I might change is the Wings logo. I think the gold is a little bit too much. If they had kept it maybe a simpler gold or like the standard Wings logo with gold instead of black. And because it's a more premium release and it is a women's only release, it is retailing for $185, which does feel like a lot. But hey, we got those bread ones earlier this year for $250. So I don't know, man. Sneaker pricing is getting insane. As much as I like this shoe, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up seeing a couple pairs of these at the Nike outlet in the next couple weeks. So because of that, I've got to give this shoe a sit. Then apparently dropping on October 20th, we've got the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air. So if you aren't familiar with the Rare Air line, essentially what it is a line of sneakers dropping for the 40th anniversary of Jordan brand, and specifically designed to look like samples or misprints of samples. So each one of these Rare Air Jordan sneakers features some kind of detail that looks like a mistake. For example, with the Air Jordan 1s, you've got like Wings logos on both sides of the shoe. For the Air Jordan 3s, one of the Nike Air logos on the heel is flipped. I actually think they're doing a really nice job with the color blocking on each one of these sneakers. I think the 3s and the 4s are clean. They're mostly black. The Air Jordan 1 is probably my least favorite, to be honest with you. But these Air Jordan 11s with the cream upper and the blue patent leather, it's hot. It's a hot shoe. Now don't get me wrong, it's a little different. It's got the Jordan text running up the nylon straps on the shoe, which is not something you see on any of the OG Air Jordan 11 models, at least not the ones that actually released to the public. It is a detail that has been found on other Jordan 11s, but it's not something we see very commonly. The outsole of the shoe is sort of this, I guess, cream, very light gum colored rubber, which is fine. It's sort of an aged yellow color. I don't mind it though. In fact, if you want to see me review this shoe, let me know in the comment section down below. I will pick up a pair and give you guys a full review before it drops. When it does drop though, the retail price will be $235, and I'm genuinely not totally sure if the shoe is gonna sit or sell. The resale price, which I usually use as an indicator, is currently at $280, which is kind of close to retail. Retail again is $235, so it's like $45 more. I wouldn't be surprised if these shoes ended up sitting in a lot of sizes. I don't know if they'll sit in every size, but I do think that it's very possible that they end up sitting overall. So because of that, kind of gotta give the shoe a sit. Then dropping on October 21st, we've got the Nike KD 18 SE Slim Reaper. This very overtly Halloween themed colorway comes in black with this sort of bone hand coming along the, I guess it's more like this, isn't it? This sort of bone hand kind of coming along the overlays on the shoe. Very interestingly, kind of following the curves of the midfoot cage. It's actually a nicely designed shoe. It looks like it's got a glow-in-the-dark outsole, which is always a plus on Halloween themed sneakers. And the other big plus is the fact that this shoe is dropping with enough time to actually get it for Halloween, to rock on Halloween. That's something that Nike hasn't done that much traditionally, but it seems like this year we're finally getting shoes in time for Halloween. Now the retail price of the shoe is a bit unfortunate, a bit scary, if you will, but spooky. It's $180, which I guess is the standard KD 18 price. I mean, let's be honest, sneakers are just expensive now. It sucks. It is what it is. I don't think these will sell out, by the way. I'm giving these guys a sit. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm starting to lose it, guys. Speaking of Ja Morant, we're actually getting a Halloween colorway of the Ja 3s on the same exact day, the Ja 3 Halloweens. Now, oddly enough, this shoe doesn't look like a Halloween themed sneaker at all. It actually looks like a pair of Grinch Kobe's, but instead, it's the Halloween Ja 3s. It's actually funny because when I talked about the Ja 3s earlier in this video, I compared them to the Kobe 6, and now we've got a pair of Ja 3s that looks like the Grinch 6s. The shoe comes in a tonal green makeup accented by red and black hits. You've got this sort of hidden glow-in-the-dark vampire tooth accent that says Morant across the teeth, which is actually pretty cool. And actually, in a super cool twist, all of the TPU accents and the outsole of the shoe do glow in the dark, which make it really rad looking, especially in the dark, at least according looking at these pictures. It's a dope looking pair of sneakers, and it only costs $125, and it's releasing in enough time for Halloween. This is a shoe you should get, guys. This one's way more interesting than the KDs, in my opinion. Now, to be fair, I don't think I personally could rock this. It's not my style, but I do think it's a pair of shoes that a lot of people will like, and I do think out of the two shoes, if one was gonna sell out, this would be the one, and I do think it is possible that this shoe could end up selling out. Speaking of KD though, on October 24th, we've got a retro of the Nike KD4 Texas. This colorway of the KD4s originally released back in 2012 as an homage to his alma mater, Texas and the Longhorns. It comes in this sort of, well, Texas colored orange or sort of burnt orange with white accents on the Nike swoosh and on the heel, and honestly, it's a very clean look. Now, as we've seen retros of newer Nike performance basketball sneakers, newer meaning like the mid 2010s, they haven't really been hitting. Maybe like some of the foam posits, but the KDs, the LeBrons, stuff like that, the retros of those shoes haven't really been flying off shelves. So because of that, even though this is a well-loved colorway, one that a lot of people really like, even for 135 bucks, I don't see this pair of KD4s selling out. So because of that, I've got to give this Texas Longhorns themed pair of KD4s a sit. Then dropping on October 25th, we've got the Air Jordan 3 family affair. This Air Jordan 3 looks a lot like what an undefeated pair of Air Jordan 3s would look like. It comes in this medium olive suede upper accented by medium olive elephant print. It's actually a very clean sort of undefeated slash flight jacket slash army colored pair of shoes. The midsole seemingly comes in sail with a black accent around the heel, and then you've got this gum outsole. Honestly, it's a very clean and simple look. It's coming in full family sizing, which is a huge plus, especially if you want to get the whole family matching. I'm very quickly finding out that buying expensive Jordans for your kids is not the move because they grow out of them way too fast. I bought probably 8 pairs of Jordans for my daughter, and she's already gone through like 4 of them. It's crazy. I can't believe how fast she's growing. But the accent that really makes this feel like an undefeated pair of 3s is the orange hit on the outsole. Very undefeated. I don't think this shoe was maybe inspired by the undefeateds, or maybe it was, I don't know. But either way, it's an olive pair of 3s. It's very clean, and it retails for 210 bucks. That was actually a guess, I'm not sure. Let me see. 215 bucks. Jordan sneakers are very predictable. You guess one price, and they're usually a couple bucks more than that. I say wait it out, because I think after this shoe drops, it's probably gonna hit the resale market for below retail, possibly the Nike outlets. And if it wasn't clear, I'm gonna give this shoe a sit. Next up, on October 29th, we've got Zion Williamson's Air Jordan 1 Low Voodoo Alternate. The design of this shoe is inspired by New Orleans. That was a New Orleans accent. It didn't really hit, did it? Nah. Obviously, New Orleans has a lot of deep roots in mysticism. That's fine. I'm not really into that myself, but hey, the shoe is pretty clean. It comes in what seems like a tonal denim or fabric upper with hits of black, blue, and purple. You've also got some really nice stitch details, which I think are clean, like the Nike swoosh has these sort of wide stitches around it. The overlays also come with these wide stitching hits. The toe box features what seems to be these sort of plus signs instead of the ventilation holes, which is also cool. I think the design of this sneaker is fire, and based on how well the original colorway of the shoe did, I think a lot of people are gonna be excited about this pair. Plus, I think it's gonna be very limited. My personal favorite detail though is the rope laces on the shoe. I think they add this really nice touch. It reminds me of those Travis Scott Dunks from a couple years ago. It's obviously not the first pair of shoes that feature rope laces like that, but I do love actual rope style laces instead of like rope laces. I think it adds this cool sort of eclectic touch, which is sort of what the shoe seems to be going for. And from what I can tell, the upside down wings logo on the heel of the shoe looks like it could glow in the dark. I'm not 100% certain on that, but it does look like it. Oh, the other thing that I really like about this shoe is the mini Nike swoosh on the toe. It's backwards. That's a cool touch. Wish they added that in more sneakers. Maybe Travis Scott should do that in one of his shoes. I'm surprised he hasn't actually. All that being said though, the retail price of this shoe is 160 bucks, and like I mentioned before, I think the shoe is gonna be very limited and probably very difficult to get. So for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sell. Moving on to October 30th, we've got the Nike Kobe 9 Elite Low Pro Tro Moonwalkers. Now these shoes were supposed to release in September. They ended up getting pushed back to October, which kind of makes sense because they do have sort of a Halloween style vibe. Apparently Michael Jackson was one of Kobe's biggest mentors, and because of that, the inspiration behind this shoe is Michael Jackson. Now I think that's really only half of the inspiration, because if you look at the outsole of the shoe, you do see literally a moon print, which would make sense why it's called the Moonwalker, because you're walking on the moon. But hey, the colorway definitely screams Michael Jackson, and the shoe itself is very clean and one of the most loved Kobe 9 Elite Lows. In fact, it was one of the most sought after Kobe 9s. This purple colorway is super clean. The fact that it had that moon graphic on the outsole made it very unique, and it's a pair of shoes that I know a lot of people will be going for. And even though Kobe 9s have been sitting at Foot Lockers recently, I think this is a pair that people are gonna be excited about, and it really could end up being the pair of Kobe 9s that fly off shelves. Now, unfortunately, this shoe is not gonna be cheap. It's gonna retail for 220 bucks, which is a lot. Not gonna lie, I think that could dissuade people from buying this shoe, to be honest with you, but who knows. However, because the first release of this shoe was so popular, and because there's so many people out there who love this purple, love Kobe, and are nostalgic for this pair in particular, I think this pair could end up selling out. But hey, with that, we wrap up all of the sneaker releases that we know about so far in October 2025. Let me know your thoughts on these releases in the comment section down below. below. Which release are you most excited for? Which releases do you not care about? I would love to know all those thoughts again in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.